Welcome, everyone. We are live. It's a lovely Friday. Woo! What are we doing today? We know that song, Do That To Me One More Time, right? We know that. So, what are we doing one more time? We are going to practice feeling. But we're not just practicing feeling, we're practicing recognize that we feel naturally. That's what we're doing. So, if you're driving, ugh, listen, but come back to the replay so you can practice because your attention needs to be on the road. You need to be focused as you're driving. But let us begin. When we practice, if I say to you, I want you to think of a time where you were doing something that you truly enjoyed. Perhaps you were on a picnic. Perhaps you were with friends. Perhaps you were reading a good book. I don't care. What were you doing? If you can recall, not necessarily what you did, but how did it feel when you were doing it? So go back into the recesses of your mind. Just breathe. Just take that moment and find that thing, that memory that you were doing. And it felt good. You had a great time. Maybe you went out with the girls. Maybe you went out with the fellas. Maybe you went to a comedy show. Who knows? But whatever that thing is, it made you feel good. See if you can pull up that memory. And when you pull up the memory, hmm, when you pull up the memory, watch what your body does automatically. Pay attention to that. Pull up that memory and see what your body does automatically. Do you feel it? What happened automatically to you? That's the part I'm saying. When you recall a memory, depending on which memory you recall, your body responds right away. It reacts right away. It can't help itself. That is law, cause and effect. Because you thought of a beautiful memory, your body responded in a beautiful way. But if you remembered or recalled an argument, especially an argument where you didn't get to fully defend yourself, see how that feels different to the body? Just pay attention to it. All we're doing is comparing how different memories make the body respond. It happens naturally. Bring up that memory, preferably a good one. It doesn't matter what the good memory was, just bring it up. Perhaps you were watching your favorite show and had a good chuckle. What was it? That good memory. See how it made your body feel? Now, when you recognize how your body feels, you'll know what state of mind you are occupying. Feel it? Good. Let it go now. Just shake it off. Let it go. Bring yourself right back to this moment that we're in right now so we can talk. I trust you slept well. I trust you did. A beautiful friend of mine We've been talking, I think it is 2 years now. I've told you about her. Beautiful, beautiful woman. We speak and we communicate via Google Translate. Because I will speak her language and she doesn't speak mine. But something very interesting happened where she would say to me, I've lived like this for so long, I have no more hope. Last night, though, she did message me and said she had this dream where she was offered a piece of pie. Mm. And she was told, all you have to do is eat it, and everything is good. And she said to me, I wonder what that means. But the part that got me was she didn't just eat that pie. She gave a piece of that pie to someone who caused her great misery in her life. When I read that message, I cried because the importance of persistence is so critical for us. She wanted to toss in the towel. And I was like, no, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's practice this over here. Let's do this. And sure enough, she stuck with it and she's seeing these changes. So much so that this dream emerged to show her what she had accomplished. And she would always ask me, why do you take the time with me? And I'm like, because you're worth it. Like, seriously. But she now is seeing it for herself in these little areas. And sometimes we take these little areas for granted. When we see changes, sometimes we take them for granted because they're not, according to the rest of the world, profound and massive changes. But to the person going through the situation and they see the effort, they see the results of their effort of remaining faithful, it is far greater than, like, they can't even put it into words sometimes. So that is why we practice. That is why we practice on a daily basis. So now, take a moment again and go back. What would it be like if you accomplished something that you wanted to? What would that be like for you? How would you feel when you looked in the mirror and you brushed your hair or you brushed your teeth? How would you feel brushing your teeth from that new place? Would you brush your teeth and smile because you are who you say you are now? Would you brush your teeth and feel a sense of warmth in your chest just because you became what you said you wanted to be? What would that be like? When you sat there and you had your toast or you had your cereal and you bit into that and you say to yourself, I did it. Me for real. I did it. I accomplished this. I got that promotion. I got that raise. I got those new clients. Me. I did it. So when you sipped your tea or you sipped your coffee, that feeling is deep within you and it just can't help itself but to bubble up and spill over. And all you're doing is thinking about how good it feels that you accomplished it. Take a moment and allow that feeling to come up within you. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it is a feeling of what would that be like? Oh my God, I know exactly what she would tell me. Oh, I know exactly what he would say. Oh, I know what they would say. See, what if you had a dog and you were out walking your dog? But you weren't just walking your dog, you were walking your dog as the person you said you wanted to be. But that stroll would be leisurely. You'd stop and pet the dog and give him water, and somebody would say, "Hey, oh my God, your dog is so cute. Can I pet him?" And you wouldn't be grumpy. You wouldn't be cranky. You would just be at ease because you are out walking your dog from a place of accomplishment. See what that feels like in your body? Good. Hold it there. Just allow your body to stay right where it is in that feeling. I'll give you a moment. Don't worry, because I'm doing the exercise myself. So when I'm silent, I'm just catching the mood for myself. So go ahead and pull up any memory that felt good, or entertain the limitless possibilities of you becoming what it is you say you want to be. Run with it. Ah, there you go. Now let it go. Let the sensation just dissipate. Put your attention here and now, right back to now, you and we're talking. You see, the thing that we feel is the thing that moves us. And that thing that moves us causes us to either act or speak. And that's how we live every single day. If you pay attention to it, you'll understand what I'm saying. You don't get up and do anything unless you're moved to do so. Seriously, you don't get up and do a single thing unless you're moved to do so. What's moving you? That's the question. What is moving you? Is it a sense of accomplishment that moves you? Is it a sense of boldness, a sense of eagerness? Ooh, excitement. Or is it a sense of worry? You'll know because your body will tell you. What I'm showing you today is what happens naturally. I think I've told you this story before, but I'll tell it to you again. I had a little old lady. She's no longer in this realm anymore, but she had something called hemochromatosis, which is iron that just happens to build itself up in the body. It doesn't, um, there was no way, because that's what happens with iron and calcium, right? They build up in the body if there's a dysfunction. In her situation, she was repulsed by anything citrus. Oh, pineapples, oranges, tomatoes, it doesn't matter. So long as it was citrus, it was repugnant to her. She just, every time she would look at it or smell it or be around it, she would cringe and she just couldn't eat it. And she never understood why that was. until she was diagnosed with hemochromatosis. The body needs vitamin C to help in the absorption of iron, the uptake of it. In hemochromatosis, they take up too much already. And iron is not one of those things that you can excrete. It just is stored in the body. It's not like a B vitamin where you take too much and you pee. No, 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 no. It's not water soluble like that. So the reason why she was repulsed by vitamin C, it was like the vitamin C didn't even get near her body yet. But this happened. Remember, go all the way back into her childhood where this thing developed. And if she had anything that was citrus, it would burn her mouth to the point where she couldn't eat it. So over time, her body just would catch it. It would be running in the background. Warning, warning, vitamin C detected, vitamin C detected. And she couldn't eat it. And she thought she was weird. You see, the body responds to a stimulus. It just does its thing because she encountered it as a young child and had this disorder from all that time. But when she got into her adult years, she forgot what that was. So you see, naturally, her body protected her because it wasn't like she could think about it all the time. She forgot. But anytime she got around something with vitamin C, her body was like, nah, this is not for us. So she had to be cautious, but not randomly cautious because her body triggered this response. Her body would say no. So today, what I'm telling you is whatever you have gone through, the body has remembered. If it's life threatening, the body will have much more force when it speaks to you. So that's why it's important for you to pay attention to what your body says. It's not just bored. It's not bored. It's doing something, but it does so naturally. Right? So now, take a moment. Take a moment now, my beautiful friends. Hey, because you're free doesn't mean you crow. All right, sweetbread? It's not time for that song yet. You are too early. Good baby. Good baby. Take a moment now. Go back into your memories and recall something. Recall a conversation that you had that was so beautiful. You shared a hug with someone. Go back into your memories and bring that up. Take your time because you got to find it. Bring it to the forefront of your memory. Do you feel it? What's that feeling? Because I just saw you. What's that feeling you get when you walk among your roses and you look at them and you remember your roses started as a desire and you were just intrigued, and that desire compelled you to learn about roses, and you learned so much about them. You said, I want to have a rose garden. Now when you walk among your rose garden, Do you feel that sense of accomplishment? I'm speaking directly to you. Well, you know who you are because I can see you, beautiful. See that sense of accomplishment you got? And every time you go out there and you are with your roses, see how that feels? Now, what if you were just sitting or walking in the grocery store or walking down the mall and you brought up that feeling? You're not with your roses, but you bring up the feeling as if you were. What if you did that? Had that feeling of accomplishment as many times throughout the day and you just lingered in that presence? And you walk down the mall with that feeling of accomplishment, with that feeling of success. That is what I'm showing you to do today. Now let it go. Just let it dissipate. See? Shake it off. Let it go. The reason being, naturally, we do that. You could be walking down the mall and be fully engrossed in your own mental conversation, feeling a particular way. Because if you notice, if you walk down the mall and you're upset and somebody bumps into you, like, ah, you see? Because that's what you feel like on the inside. That's the state you're in. But if you walk down the mall and there's just that sensation of accomplishment and success and peace of mind and ease as you walk down the mall, it's just a leisurely stroll. And somebody happens to bump into you, say, hey, it's okay, have a nice day. See the difference? The way you feel is showing you the state, the mental state that you are in. So when you recognize the mental state you are in, you can now predict the types of experiences you're going to have. That's exactly what we do all day, every day. Hmm? See, that's what we're doing naturally all day, every day. Think about this scenario for a minute. You have a dinner date planned. You're going out with the girls later. Listen, you could be going out for a romantic dinner. I don't know. The point is, you're going out for dinner somewhere. All through the day, where's your mind? Your mind is on the excitement of going out to that dinner. So when you walk down the street, when you drive, when you talk to someone on the phone, you are speaking and communicating to that person from a place of anticipation, from a place of excitement, from a place of, ooh, this is nice. I can hardly wait. Everything looks different from that angle because there's this sense of anticipation. I'm going for dinner, and heaven only knows who you're going for dinner with. What I'm saying to you, the moment you know you are anticipating something, you got it all planned, you're going. What if you could just recall that feeling of going out with people, but you're not going out, you're just remembering it. But you remember it and you stay there in that place so that the next time you hear, oh, can you remember a good time that you had? Well, go back to that state of mind. That's what you're doing. You're constantly embodying a state. So go back to that memory, go back to that state of mind and feel it all over again. And the more you do that, the more you return to that good feeling. Listen, you can hold it for 30 seconds, you can hold it for a minute, 2 minutes. It doesn't matter how many times and how long can you sustain it. Why is that important? Because look at how many times we go back to the argument we had. Look at how many times we go back to the argument that we had and say to ourselves, ah, shoot, I should have said this. Ooh, I should have said that. And every time that you embody the memory of that argument, your body does what? It gets all tense. It gets all angry, and then you walk down the street and you're ready to cuss anybody out. What's the difference between the two? The way each one of them makes your body react. So the state that you get into that makes the body react habitually, which means that's where you always are. That's the place you will go to. Now you can predict what kind of experiences you're going to have simply because of where you go mentally. I trust this is making some sense to you today, so that when you hear persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, think about how many times we persist in the feeling and the memory of the argument, of the injustice. We think it's easier to go that way, when in actuality, no, it's just practiced more. So that's why, in order to practice what the feeling is that you want to have, find a better feeling. Oh, but Angela, I can't make myself feel better. Really? But we know how to make ourselves feel worse. And the only difference between the two is the thought. That's what I'm saying to you this morning. So when you are going to be entertaining thoughts, choose them wisely. Because you see, your body doesn't care necessarily about that thing you feel. It only begins to care when you persistently feel it. Because then that is where you live from. You speak from there. You interact with people from there. That's what you're doing. So if every day you get up and all you can think about is how cruel the world is, where are you living from? What kind of experiences do you think you will encounter? Because you're feeling like what? Ho hum. That's what. But the only reason why is because you practice it. So I am telling you, when you encounter the unsavory thought, if you do not want to be there mentally, just choose a thought that feels better. Choose a memory, one that made you laugh, and see how many times you can return and laugh, and how long can you laugh for. Reason being, the body will respond chemically. It has to. It's the law of correspondence. As above, so below. So as above in your thoughts, so below the body reacts. You know this. Some people have it so bad that just the thought of going outside sends them into a full panic. What sends them into a panic? The thought. They haven't even gone outside. They're not even going to go outside. But the thought of going outside. I want you to hear what I just said. The thought of going outside, the thought of getting up and speaking in front of people causes some people to you just need a brown paper bag because they start hyperventilating from what? Not actually doing it, but the thought. Think about it. They actually haven't done it. It is only the thought of doing it. So, do you understand what I'm saying to you? If the thought of doing something can cripple you, well, then the thought of something else can free you because it is only a matter of the thought. But do you see the thought? It's not just willy nilly, it's the thought that moved you. The thought that said to you, girl, if you go outside, that's what I'm trying to tell you this morning. The mere thought of it. When I say that we do it naturally, we do it naturally. So today, be encouraged to know that it is only the thought that you entertain incessantly. I remember vividly that one night, it was Christmas time, and my grandmother and I had been rehearsing Silent Night. And I I don't know what I said, but my grandfather said to me, because I was really worried. And my grandfather said to me, they're not going to laugh at you, okay? You have to stop thinking like that. He goes, how many of them will get up and sing it? He goes, they can't even do that. But you have more courage to get up and sing it. So get up and sing it. And he said, if somebody laughs at you, they're laughing at themselves. That's not your concern. That's what he said to me. I remember that vividly because I was actually afraid to get up and sing, which is something I had never encountered before because I had always been singing with my grandmother. But for some reason, this night was different. This night was different. I do not recall why it was different, but I just remember him and how he looked me in the eye and said, everything is perfectly fine. Just go out there and do it. And I went out there and I did it. And that memory has always stuck with me. So that whenever I have to go speak anywhere, it doesn't matter to me anymore who has anything to say about it. Because I am the one being faithful to follow through with my inner conviction. That person is simply living from their state. I have no control over their state. I can only maintain my own. So if they want to laugh, well, release the endorphins, honey. I'll laugh with you, don't fret. So grasp what I am telling you today. It is the mere thought of something that will either propel you to greatness or make you stay frozen. But either way, it is just a thought. What are you going to do with that thought? Will you entertain thoughts that continually hold you in a place of fear? Because remember, they're just thoughts. I don't know what you are thinking. I don't know. But you do. So that is why the encouragement is this. Remember always that the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation. It just is. So if you want to change your life and you realize that you get up and you have a bad attitude every day, chances are you have fallen asleep in a bad mood. So, how do you break that habit? You decide, do you want to get up in a bad mood? No, you don't. You don't. So, when you're falling asleep, remind yourself of something good. Because all you're doing is replaying the day anyway. So replay the good bits. Replay the good bits. That is your encouragement. Because too often we turn towards the other side and then we wonder why things don't change. They cannot change on the outside if we have not changed on the inside. And all you're changing is your polarity. What now? Polarity? All you're changing is the direction of your thoughts. That is polarity. Left or right, which way you going? Right? Be strong and of good courage. That's the scripture. Don't fret and worry about the Bible and if it's authentic or inauthentic. That is irrelevant. What can you learn and apply? That's all you're concerned with. Nothing else. Not whether it is true or false, but where can you find the law? Where can you find the law and the wisdom and apply it to change your life? That is all. Because think about it for a moment. Some of us clutch our pearls and say, ooh, the Bible. Why? Because of the memory of what happened at church. That's why. The memory of what happened at church. You see how that old memory will cause you to throw the baby out with the bathwater? And you think we just do it with the Bible? No. We do it with relationships. One relationship that was, you know, not so pleasant could taint your whole view of somebody else. And you're painting this new person with an old brush. You can't do any better than that. Why not? Because what it is that you're feeling on the inside is what causes you to act. So it's not that there's not any good men or good women. It's just that you believe that there aren't any. And what a man believes, well, that's what he experiences. So you see, it is just the thought. And I know sometimes we think, thoughts don't really have anything to do with it. And in actuality, that's not the case. The thought will always have something to do with it. Because the universe is a mental creation. So take stock. You pay attention to what that is that you're feeling in your body as you think about it. And as I told you yesterday, put it into perspective. Why does that thing hurt you? Why does that thing trigger you? Because I find that comprehension, when you understand something, you behave differently. When you understand it, when you comprehend it, you say, oh, that's why I do what I do. Okay, I see. I see why that thing triggers and why it hurts. Okay, I see it. Do I want to continue with that? Or do I want to find a different way to be? And then you decide that you want to be something different. What would it be like if you were? That's our cue right now. Take a moment wherever you are. If you're driving, Lord have mercy, come back to the replay. But take a moment now, shall you? And just simply inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. That's it. Just allow the body to begin the process of relaxation. Just take it easy. Now, can you remember a time where you had such a good deep belly laugh? Shoot, the drink could have come through your nose. Do you remember one of those times that you laughed like that? Do you remember? Oh, good. If you do, hold it. Bring it up there and hold it. I wonder if it will make you laugh again. Only you would know. But hold that memory, that thought, and allow yourself to feel that laughter again. Because whatever it was, it just cracked you right up. It was just too good. Just just let it wash over you, that memory of that laughter. Even if you don't remember what the thing was, perhaps you have a friend who just by hearing them laugh, you have to laugh. We must all have one of those. Can you hear that person's laugh in your head? You see how it makes you feel when you hear it? Hold that sensation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let it dissipate. Just move past it now. Let it go. It's a good memory, no? So all we're doing is practicing bringing up a sensation that feels real good to the body because that's the state. That's the preferable state. That peace, that laughter, that joy, that accomplishment, that fulfillment, whatever it is you want to call it, that you can feel. How many times a day can you feel it and for how long? That's where you put yourself so that you can see how to change most effectively and to put things in their proper place. At any given time throughout the day, you can free yourself. Mentally, of course. You can bring relief to yourself mentally. Let's take a moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space this morning. Who's here on Twitter? Whew, I back to see everybody. Hey, driving. Hey, love troll. Tonyo. L is in the house. It's good to see you all here on Twitter, y'all. Who's on Facebook and YouTube this morning? Well, who've made themselves known in the chat? Ah, Cyber. Fancy seeing you here, darling. Sonia. Shea Butter. It's good to see you guys here on YouTube. Facebook, well, they're not in the chat, but I see them. Fanbase, who's here? Oh, Miss Deborah. Hey, and Afternoon Delight. Yeah, KZ. Hooker brother ZC. Thick. Hey. Stephanie Darling. Joaquin. Miss Crenshaw. Hello, darling. Oracle Treehouse. Marquise. Flo Smiles. I see you all. Thank you for being here this morning so that we could practice bringing up a sensation, however many times you want to bring it up, and for however long you want to hold it, and then letting it go over and over and over again until it becomes your habit. And from that habit, you can predict any outcome. Oh, you can. Child, it ain't no time for singing. I was just about to tell you something. Right. You know how there's that popular saying that misery loves company? Because think about what we do. I'm showing you what we do naturally as people so that you can say, oh, snap. If I can do it on the left, I can do it on the right. Just switch the thought. You know, sometimes we have, hey, double A. Sometimes we have these friends, and when they call you or they send you a note or they text you or something, they always got something good to tell you. Oh my God, you'll never guess what happened. Oh, it is so amazing. They'll have something to tell you like that. And you look forward to hearing from those people. But then flip it. What about that person's house you go to and they pour some tea and they go, girl, let me tell you something. I can't handle this person. Lord, they just ruffle my feathers every day. What's that make you feel like you? Listen, when they call you and say, are you going to swing by for tea? You look at your watch and you go, the party you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. You say, no, I already have a previous engagement. And so you make up every kind of excuse to not go. Because you know the feeling. I keep telling you, we do these things naturally. So to change your life, engage yourself fully in telling the good story, in recalling the beautiful memories, not in avoidance of the other one, because we don't avoid. That's why I say comprehension is important. Understand what you're going through and why you are, and then make a conscious decision. Because scripture tells us that a merry heart does you good like medicine, but depression rots the bones. So if you keep just ruminating over the indifference and the bad and the injustice of it all, you make yourself sick. Right? And that's what it is. That's what happens to us. So be encouraged to practice, just like I showed you this morning with all those different scenarios, because we do them naturally. See what you can recall, especially if you're just laying there. Just see what fun things you can recall. hmm And go with it. And if you catch yourself recalling the unsavory, watch yourself and see what you do. Let me get the bowl for us. Let's get the bowl. Dua, you're here too. Hey. Miss Crenshaw. Yes, we all have one of those, right? With that laugh, and you're like, as long as you hear that laugh, you'll laugh because you can't help yourself. Oh, I have many people like that. And you just can't even help yourself. Flo Smile says there's no space for negative thoughts in my mind. Well, of course not. Like not to entertain at least. You just don't entertain them, right? You don't entertain them. You don't give them any kind of credence, right? Because habits are funny like that. The moment you start entertaining, well, you have to continue. That's the habit. Let me get the bowl for us this morning so that as you hear the bowl this morning, what can you recall that is beautiful? Because when you recall the beautiful, and I'll close with this, when you recall the beautiful, it helps you to heal the not so beautiful. It's not every day we have beautiful things happen to us. Sometimes we have good things. Sometimes we have great things. Sometimes we have some kind of sort of bad. But based upon the perspective, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I want to say it again. I can do all things through. If you can do it through, huh? Where is Christ then? If you can do it through Christ, within. It's within. You're doing it through Christ. You're doing it through, which means your actions are coming through. So that means it is within you. It surrounds, it encompasses. So you come through it. Paul says, I now live because Christ died. And we all understand what that means when we read Neville Goddard. Christ within, within. And as within, so without. What is beautiful within you has to emerge. And it emerges of its own volition whenever it emerges. You don't gotta force a thing. Anyway, let's not, Angela, let's not prattle on. Let's get the bowl before this young man decides to take over my space with his lovely bird song so early in the morning. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. El Tonyo driving. Aw, thank you all for being here. You know I'll see you tonight if you're available. 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't even remember which one we're reading tonight, but it'll be a good time to be had by all. Much love, Twitter. I love you. Twitter is closed. YouTube and Facebook, double A. Enjoy the beautiful day, darling. Well, look, you are well into your afternoon already. Cyber, hey, Asanya, shea butter. It is great. It is great to have spent this morning with you on YouTube and Facebook. Much love to you all.